Good morning, y'all. It is another kind of cold early spring day here on the farm. Welcome back. If you're new around here, my name is Andrea. This is VW Family Farm. We live in the middle of central Arkansas. If you're new around here, we raise all kinds of things around here. Cattle, pigs, chickens for meat and eggs, gardens, kids, all kinds of things. We are living our dream life. I want to take a few minutes today, take you guys around with me as I go around and do some chores, show you some things that are going on around the farm, and just give you a look at the animals. And I want to talk to you about something that I think is very important and very relevant for where we are at in our society today. So what I want to talk to you guys about today is this all or nothing approach that we have somehow let creep into our society and to our culture, especially here in America. It's the thought that if you're not doing something and completely succeeding in it to where you don't need anyone else to help you or to come along beside you, and you're not doing it perfectly, that you're failing. That's just, I see it everywhere. I see it with these extreme eating plans, or it even bleeds over into the farming and homesteading world. Someone's about to pop with babies. You see, people these days feel like if they're not raising all of their own food, that they're not somehow living up to the standard of those who are. Those who, have land and are raising all of their own meat, and they have huge gardens and greenhouses and all these things that maybe you see on YouTube or wherever the case may be, TikTok, I don't know. Or maybe you know these people in real life, and maybe you're not as far along on your homesteading journey as they are. You don't have all these things. You're working towards them, but you're just not there yet on having it all. Maybe you never plan to raise all of your own food. Maybe you just grow a garden because you enjoy it. It's therapy for you, or whatever the case may be. And we just have these ideas of extremes. If you're not all the way there, whatever there is, you're somehow failing. And I just call that baloney, because that's just not true. And speaking those things, even thinking those things over yourself or others, is just not productive. This also bleeds over into prepping. There's so many videos about prepping right now because, to be honest, there is some value in being prepared, but you will watch videos that say, do this now. If you don't, you're not ready. You're not going to survive, or whatever the case may be. And the fact is, if you don't have the finances to go out and put aside years worth of food for every person in your family, it doesn't mean that there's no value in putting something aside. And that's the all or nothing approach that I'm talking about. And sometimes you have to think, when you're seeing these, especially videos on YouTube, even from us, I'm speaking to myself as well, that you are seeing a glimpse into someone's life. And I know we've heard this, but it applies on YouTubes and farms and homesteads and prepping and all that as well. Are the people you're watching about prepping, Are they really that prepared? Do they really have all these stockpiles they're encouraging you to do? Do they have money in the bank when they're encouraging you to pull yours out? These people on farming and homesteading, do they really raise all of their own food, or are you going to see them at a drive-thru as well? Because I'm going to be honest with you guys, they're real people too. We are real people too. When we first went into this, we were very extreme about it, and we did eat most of our meals at home, and still try to, because it's frugal, it's healthier, but it was like, it almost felt like, especially because we live in a glass house and we make YouTube videos, that we owed something to the people watching our videos. And I do feel very loyal to you guys, but since then I have realized that I don't owe anything to anyone. If our life gets busy and to keep up with our family, we have to eat out some, or we choose to eat out some to fellowship with other people, or whatever the case may be. We choose to not always 100% of the time make the healthiest choice. That's our personal choice. And we don't have to be so extreme just because people are watching us. It is our choice in our life, just like yours is. And I think a lot of times these extremes come from because we're worried about other people's opinions and judgments. And one last note I want to say about that, if you feel like you see all these things, I'm referencing YouTube because that's where we are right now, but you see all these YouTube videos about people eating these extreme healthy diets, cutting out entire food groups, whatever the case may be, and you feel like, I just can't do that. That's not practical. I've tried. Like I'm mentioning, are those people really doing that 100% of the time? Or do they not feel free to express that, hey, I have a life too, and I can't pull this off 100% of the time, but I'm doing my best, and this does help me because I have this, or this reason to be, you fill in the blank, carnivore, gluten-free, grain-free, any of the things, those are difficult, y'all. But being sick is also difficult. So yes, these people are finding healing. It's not because it's the trendy thing to do, but also you have to realize they probably slip up too. I'm not saying that everyone does, but I'm saying you're getting the highlight reel online. So another place we do this is with our kids, and it's sad, but it is true. We think we see all these kids that are into this homesteading lifestyle, or they seem to be, and they're such hard workers, and they're so respectful all the time, every moment of every day, and all these things. And again, guys, you're just seeing the highlight reel. We have times in our family, you guys have no idea the issues we've had in our own family, our small family, our extended family. Families just have problems sometimes. And so you can't base how you feel about the job of parenting you've done based on something you're seeing online. And for that matter, we have to think about, I have to do this myself. How many things do I get upset with my kids about just because I care about how it looks to others? They may be having some real issues or problems, and really I'm just worried about the appearance. And I'd like to say that's never happened, but I can't say that, and I don't think that has for any parent. And we base our success as a parent off these extremes, off, have I been perfect all the time? Well, the thing is, nobody has. So, and just because your kids may not be into the same things you are, farming or gardening or homesteading or whatever the case may be, whatever your likes and hobbies are, it doesn't mean you're less than as a parent if you didn't raise your kids and they just love it too. And the fact is, our kids here on our farm, they are hard workers. They have helped us build this thing up. But we started this, we got our first animals 10 years ago. And we had gardens and animals before that, but that's when we seriously started raising meat. That's really all Lane and Emily have known growing up. So it's different when you bring in older kids, and they do know different. They do know, you know, a different lifestyle, and maybe they prefer that. And so you just have to give some grace. No more of these extremes, even in our parenting. So I got the chores done. I want to wrap this video up by giving you guys a little encouragement. You see our farm all the time. You see what we're doing here. But like I mentioned earlier in the video, we bought our first animals for meat in 2012. That's over 10 years ago. So just like with our farm, you're not going to start out and have as many animals or as big of gardens as we do, or anybody that you watch online, if you're just beginning, because those people just like us started somewhere and started probably with next to nothing as far as animals and gardens and things like that. So it takes time. We've made so many mistakes over the years to get to where we are now. We've bought animals that then we had to turn around and sell. This didn't happen overnight. So don't think just it's an all or nothing thing. If you can't start out and have everything in the first year, it's not worthwhile. Well, that is just a lie. That's not true. And there's beauty in the process. There's beauty in learning as you go through things that work and that don't work. So let go of the extreme that you have to have it all, or else what you're doing is not as valuable as what someone else is doing, because that's just simply not true. I mentioned eating styles earlier because that's such a big thing in our society today. What kind of plan are you on? Are you paleo? Are you keto? Are you grain-free, gluten-free, all meat, all vegetables, all the things? And I'm not here to diss any of those, because those are around for a reason. Someone found success with those for weight loss or for health problems or whatever the case may be. What I am here to say is that just because someone else is doing that doesn't mean that is for you. Those are extreme situations and extremely difficult in a lot of situations, although health is very motivating. I put a video out here a while back, and I'm going to link that here somewhere on this screen, about taking control of my health this year. And when I put that video out, I was actually really, really committed that I wanted to do that. But I failed so many times in the past that I was like, oh, I have to now. I've put it out there. And I think that was just the push I needed, and I have done it. And I've lost about almost 15 pounds at this point. I feel fantastic. But I'm taking a new approach. No extreme dieting, no extreme plan. Healthy eating. And that means different things to different people. So what I'm eating might not be what you're eating. But even last night, my family and I went somewhere and we stopped at an ice cream place. And you might think, well, ice cream is not what you need to be eating if you want to lose weight. And while you're right, in the past, I would have denied myself and then gotten to a point of denying while my family's enjoying little treats here and there and going on about their life. And then I just feel so deprived that I eventually just give in and eat everything in sight. So that hasn't worked for me in the past. That's extreme. That's extreme on both ends of denying myself and then overeating. So you know what I did last night? I had the ice cream. I had a small one and I didn't even eat it all, but it was enough. I was satisfied. I didn't feel guilty about it. I felt in control, and that's the approach I'm taking. And so far, it's working fantastically. So I want to wrap this up by saying, just think about it. Think about the things in your life that are extreme in your life right now, and why are they there? Do they need to be there? Is it some extreme situation that you have to take extreme measures? Or is it not? Is it something society has told you? Is it society that's told you, you know, your kids need to be perfect, or else if they're not, you need to hide it because other people have these perfect kids and they're perfect parents and you're just not? That's not true. Also, this homesteading and farming world is really big right now on self-sustainability and on like prepping and all those things. And can I just say, there is value in being prepared. Do not get me wrong. There is no judgment for me on people that make videos on those topics. There is some wild things going on in our world right now, and I think there's value in being prepared. But I also think there's value in community and sharing the load with others. Maybe you have no desire or ability to raise pigs. We have people in our life that they could, but they don't want to, and that is totally okay. So they support us in raising pork. And that's just the way it's done. That's the beauty of it. That's the way it's been done for many, many years. People back in the old days were usually not self-sustainable. They were in some sort of community, whether it was small, out in the middle of nowhere, whether it was their family, you know, extended family, working together, whatever the case may be. Most people were not an island. And so don't take that extreme approach either, that you have to provide everything for yourself and do everything or else you're just not good enough. Because again, that's such a lie. I hope you hear my heart in this and just realize that so many of the things that we put pressure on ourselves about these days are because things were being marketed, that are being marketed to us, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So just think through everything that you're doing in your life, your attitudes towards those things, your attitudes towards people and jobs and everything that's in our life. And if you find that things are kind of out of balance, kind of just reevaluate and be open to change. That's one of the most powerful things, strengths that I think people can possess, is the ability to change and have your mind changed when you see that, hey, I'm wrong in this way of thinking or in this way of doing, and being able to flex and change. Those things are beautiful things. So I just want to encourage you with that today. Hey, if you started getting healthy with me back when I put that video out, or maybe you've never even seen that video, but you started here a while back getting healthy and you're on your journey right now, would you leave me a comment down below? Let me know how you're doing. I would love to hear it. I'm feeling great now. And once you get going, even for just a couple weeks, even for 1 week, make it through week 1, the motivation starts flooding in because you feel so much better. And then you realize, hey, I can do this. I am doing this, and this is worth my time and effort to do. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching, and God bless.